We are so lucky. We are so lucky. So the home base for the project teams is the experiential learning lab, which is the basement level of Upson Hall. And that is where my office is, which is why I just get giddy when I get to talk about it, because it is a really amazing space. So we have a couple of conference rooms, we have a large fabrication area, and then we have build space and sort of meeting spaces for the students that are on project teams, storage space, the whole kit and caboodle, so to speak. And I would say the majority of teams, this is pretty much home base for them. This is where they do all their build activities. They do their heavy machining in the MAE machine shop, typically the Emerson shop, also in the basement of Upson Hall, conveniently. But they, by and large, are doing pretty much the rest of their activities in the ELL. That is also home base for if they need to have a design review, if they need to host a conference call, if they need to have, a sub-team meeting. So it's wonderful that they have a dedicated facility. It's secure. They can have their projects out and just keep coming back to them, or different people can keep coming back to them. They don't have to, put them away every work session, when they're done. And we've established a really great culture in the space of just trust and respect. And we have some spaces that are reservable, but by and large, it's a very kind of shared open use space within the project teams. That being said, that space alone cannot meet the wide range of needs on those 29 teams. So we have a number of teams that work in other spaces across campus, which is really phenomenal, because we have, other schools and departments within engineering who are really committed to supporting the work that project teams are doing. So ChemiCar, for example, they're working on a car that is powered solely by chemical reaction. That is not safe to do except in a well-equipped chemical lab. And so they have a lab space that they're allowed to work in Olin Hall, and we have a great partnership with the folks that oversee that lab. Our concrete canoe team, it is not safe to do concrete work except in the concrete lab. So they work in the Beauvais lab, where there's dedicated space that they can safely do the concrete mixing and the concrete sanding that they need to do. We have 2 teams, a synthetic biology team, as well as a biomedical device team that work in the undergraduate teaching lab space in Weil, where BME is located. So there's a number of other campus spaces that are crucial. I will also say one of the more interesting parts of my job is also working with the teams who need other creative spaces to do the work that they're going to do. So I have 2 teams that need space where they can fly what they're building. And so we work with the local flying club, we work with the local RC club, we work with local folks who have fields, and we have agreements in place with some folks off campus when our teams need to go and practice flying. We have a rocketry team. We are not allowing a rocketry team to static fire their rocket engine on campus. That's not something we can do, but we have a great partnership with a statewide rocketry group that's nearby that does have a facility that is safe and that is approved for that kind of work to happen. And there's like a whole laundry list that I could go through, but really I think the takeaway is we have a really fantastic home base on campus, and then we have lots of creative partnerships and agreements with other folks either on campus or in the sort of surrounding community to enable and support the work that the teams want to do. I think I work really closely with our college safety officer as well as environmental health and safety for Cornell overall. And I would say collectively there's a spirit of we would rather find safe and creative ways to say yes than have to say no. So it is rare that we just outright have to say no. Sometimes it takes a little while, but we usually are trying to find safe places where they can do the kind of work that they want to do, even if it is a little out of left field sometimes.